What's going on, good people? My name is Dee Marie, and I was coming to you today just to have a little conversation about the state of barbering and where we're headed. Right. Is it just me, or does it seem like in the United States right now there's a bunch of like real hot, real modern, high-end barbershops popping up all over the place? Right, and they're so dope. They decked out, looking beautiful, nice retail setups, everything is gorgeous. You know, but when you go sit down and you talk to these people, you go in these barbershops, you actually visit them, what you're gonna realize is that there aren't many barbers working there. Our industry and men's grooming has really been taken over by cosmetologists who are just good at cutting men's hair. And that's cool, like thank y'all for holding it down, we appreciate it. But barbers, I think it's time to get ourselves back on track and get caught up with what's happening in men's grooming right now, because barbers are actually behind in what's happening in men's grooming right now, right? And so I came up kind of with a system, a 3-point plan that we can use to address the gaps that we have between what cosmetologists are doing to keep our clients and what barbers have traditionally done, right, that always worked, but now the game is changing a little bit. The game is changing because cosmetologists going back to barber school, they're getting licensed as barbers, right? So even though they're traditionally trained as cosmetologists and might actually technically be barbers, there's a culture difference, right? And so these cosmetologists are the culture of men's grooming is leaning towards cosmetology and away from barbery, and I'll explain to you why that is. So what we need to do is get back on task. Barbers, we've got to step our game up. There's some stuff that cosmetologists are doing that are keeping our clients, that are trapping our clients, the men, right? And men's grooming is not being done in traditional barbering ways. And it's time for us to reclaim that. It's time for us to take our men's grooming back. Right now, we've kind of handed it away. And we got to get it back. So I established Barbering Redefined. It's a system of 3 steps, 3 elements that are going to get us back on track. Okay. First of all, the first one is integrity. I think that the integrity of barbering right now is a little wobbly. Right, there's a lot of stuff that we're not doing to take care of the integrity of barbering, what we used to have, that old school, you know, when you walk in and it's a very professional environment, it's a very clean environment, right? It's friendly, but, you know, back in the day, they didn't allow riffraffs and inappropriate conversation and music that might be offensive, and they came to work in slacks and shirts and suspenders or bow ties, right? There was a professionalism and an integrity to it, right? They didn't have to be licensed, I don't think. I might have to double check on that. No, I know they didn't, because it got established later. They didn't have to be licensed, right? But you had better bet if back in the day, like in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, right? If they had to license barbers back then, you would have bet that they were so proud of their industry and so determined to withhold the integrity that every barber in every license would have been, every barber in every barbershop would have been licensed. That is something that cosmetologists do not put up with. You are gonna have a license if you're in the shop cutting hair or doing hair, styling hair. That's something that we've gotten away from, and I'm not really sure why. It puts our integrity in question. It makes us less professional. It's bad business all day, and I hold the shop owners at fault, but we'll get into that later. So that's the first step, integrity, right? Integrity includes professionalism, it includes licensing, and just sound business practices, right? I mean, not taking cash, not taking appointments, it's bad business. Okay, so we'll get into all that later when I do a video about integrity by itself. Okay, the second element is diversity. So a lot of barbers have gotten stuck in a rut, right? You're very good at what you do, and so you stay there and only there forever. And then you cut hair until you're 70. And that's not really an efficient way to do business, right? In every other form of business, there's growth expected, right? You are a junior architect and you design closets, and then you get to go on and do floors, and then you get to go on and do buildings, right? That's just the progress of it. And if you ever stay designing closets, you might have a hard time keeping a job. Well, barbering is not much different, or it shouldn't be much different. You should be expected to grow. A lot of barbers don't know how to properly use shears, or don't know how to properly cut different textures of hair, don't know how to do different lengths of hair, right? If a guy comes in with hair to his shoulder, a lot of barbers wouldn't know what to do with it. I think that's unacceptable. In today's day and time, guys come in with all different kinds of looks, and we're mixed cultures. We're mixed economically and socially, and so you need to cut all different kinds of clients. You need to be able to handle all different textures of hair, all different lengths of hair. You need to be able to use a variety of different tools. And not only that, the hair, skin, and nails all fall under our license. Now, I'm not saying go out and start doing manicures if you're bad at them. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying diversify what you do with your clients is going to help you make more money. A lot of barbers right now can't use a straight razor or won't. And if you, well, except to do a lining, and then they scar up your clients, which is bad. But a lot of barbers right now, and I'm not generalizing, okay? The barbers are amazing. I'm a barber. I am proud to be a barber. We are sickly talented. But I'm talking about in general, the thing that's keeping us lagging is where we're not taking off with men grooming like cosmetologists are. These are the things, okay? We need to diversify in our skills. We need to get better. Awesome clipper game, that's great, right? But we need to get better with shears. We need to learn how to handle different textures and different lengths. We need to learn how to add on additional services, shave. We need to be able to do facials, and I'm talking about real facials, okay? Adding on to a shave service, man, I mean, you're looking at $40. So why wouldn't you want that kind of money? Learn how to do it, but learn how to do it right. We need to be interested in continuing education, and I know it's not required for barbers by law, at least not, I'm licensed in Illinois and Indiana. It's not required here. But I learn a ton, and I grow a ton every single year. I could do color, I could do bobs, I could do whatever you want, right? But it's because I'm invested in my education, and it makes me diverse, and there's nowhere on this planet that you can sit me down and I can't do hair. That's where we all need to get. Right? And then you won't be stuck in $17 barbershops. You'll be able to go to the $50, $60, $70 barbershops. Ultimately, we want to work less and get paid more. And the only way to do that is diversify your skill. Not only skill, but I love the diversity in the products and apparel and thinking outside the box that we have going on right now. Barbers making t-shirts and hats and all of that. Like, that's dope. I love it. Keep it coming. That's exactly what we need to be doing. Because your skill, your hair cutting skill, is not all that barbering is. Your ability to cut hair will end at some point. You won't be able to cut hair 1 foot out of the grave. You have to think about that ahead of time. You have to educate yourself ahead of time and make a plan, right? Are you going to be a shop owner? Are you going to be a teacher? Are you going to be an educator or a platform artist? Are you going to work for Cosmoprof and go sell a product? Or, what are you going to do? If your body gives out today, what are you going to do? You got to think about it. The last element missing that we need to add over here in Barbering Redefined is community. We don't take care of our community in general. I mean, we get back to school bashes every once in a while, right? And you got the barbers in every community that has charity events all the time, right? So, you can go partner up with them. But you ever been to one of those things? Besides the back to school bash that everybody goes and cuts hair for, we don't really get involved in community and charity. We don't generally, right? Because a lot of people do, a lot of people very involved. I know people right here in Chicago very involved, right? But in general, we don't do enough charity. We don't take care of our community well enough. We should be examples. No, sorry. We are examples. And we need to take advantage of that. We need to be the people that the little kids come and they sit down and they look up to like we used to be. Right? We have to get that integrity and that diversity and that sense of community back into barbering so that we can take back the high-end barbershops that are coming out here. I can tell you, as an educator, I'm a licensed educator, and I work at a pretty well-renowned school here in Chicago, okay? I can tell you that the biggest challenge of hiring and getting students out into the workforce is professionalism and diversity. And a lot of people don't want to do community work. They don't want to do charity work. They don't want to do community service. They want to get paid for something. They want to get hours for something. They want some kind of kickback for their investment. No, man. Your kickback is taking care of the community that feeds you. These people feed you. These people give you experience and help you grow. What else do you need than that? So that's my quick introduction to Barbering Redefined. Integrity, diversity, community. That's where we got to get back to, y'all. If we're going to take back men's grooming in the United States and start moving into these high-end barbershops and taking our jobs back from cosmetologists, that's how we're going to do it. That's it right there. All right? So stay in touch with me. Let me know if you want any follow-up. I'm going to do a more detailed video on integrity, community, and diversity, all separate. So keep in touch, man. Take a look for it. Keep an eye out for it. Take a look at it. Whatever. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, you can drop them below in the comments, or you can email me, dmariehair@gmail.com. Or you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, at dmariehair. Cool? Thanks for watching, y'all. Barber love, peace, blessings, all that. Take care of each other.